Can't sleep? Neither can I. We're going into battle for the soul of the living lands, rallying under the banners of the Paradis militia. Your Emperor will not be pleased. Indeed. When a godlike fights in battle, people take note of which side. The Adirans will doubt your loyalty. The locals will doubt your commitment. You may even doubt yourself. This is the first time you were told to pick a side. And I fear it won't be the last. Only a little bit. Just enough to keep me up at night. From what I understand, your ambassador is very persuasive, very powerful, and very accustomed to getting his way. For a politician like him, losing a battle is not a defeat. It's an opportunity. When he promises you the world, don't listen. He'll fill your head with lies if you let him. I'm glad we understand each other. It's good to see you fighting for the misfits and rabble-rousers. You have an inquisitive mind. I respect that. If you ever feel your education is missing something, I'd be happy to teach you what I know. All you have to do is ask. In truth, I'm not as worried as I used to be. I've been thinking about the Inquisitor. Formulating a theory, you might say. A Death Guard clings to their existence by force of will. Stubbornness, unfinished business, that sort of thing. Ludwig is held together by faith, and that may be her undoing. Faith is the foundation of her reality. Faith in the righteousness of the gods. But according to her faith, Sapadal should not exist. A new god independent of hers? Blasphemy. By that logic, you shouldn't exist either. And yet here you are. By staying alive, of course. You are the godlike of a heretical god, a contradiction to her reality. Can you imagine how much she needs you to die? Her entire worldview depends on it. Who knows? Maybe that uncertainty is enough to make her mortal again. Or maybe not. I'm just theorizing as I go. Whatever happens, I want to see it for myself. For the research. When I agreed to travel with you, I didn't think I'd find myself at the center of a political upheaval. So imagine my surprise when you gave the living lands a chance to unite, to prove itself, and to stand tall before its enemies. Granted, it was an uphill climb. The Dream Scourge exposed our weaknesses, our vulnerabilities. But thanks to our struggle, the island finally knows itself. Now we can decide who we want to become. I can't wait to see what we do with that freedom. Agreed. We've fought hard just to defend what's ours. But to answer your question, the future looks bright for a change. Is it really that obvious? No matter who wins or loses, the living lands won't be the same. In my heart, I know that's a good thing. Life is impossible without change. And change can be frightening. I just want to put this behind us. I want it to be over. Excellent. The Imperial Court taught you well, but I suspect there were gaps in what they call an education. If there's anything you've been dying to learn from an animancer, now is the time. Very well. Hold your questions to the end if you don't mind. Otherwise, I'll lose my train of thought. Now, let's begin. You, drifted off for a moment. Were you paying attention? Really? What's the last thing I said? Well, aren't you the clever one? No harm done, of course. I don't mind if you catch a few winks. Besides, a little nap is good for the soul. I slept through my share of lectures, and look how I turned out. That's all I have to teach you for now. I'll chime in if anything else comes to mind. Pleasant dreams.
Well, here we are. We're doing this. We're fighting your people. Are you okay? No doubts or second thoughts? Really? Well, you're better than me, dearie. Thinking back on all we've done, it's impressive, don't you think? We went to the garden, a prison untouched by time. We both learned the truth about our Akedan origins. Oh dear. Do you think we knew each other in our past lives? I'm sure I just let you think that, Envoy. And that's skipping to the end. I mean, think of all we've done. You saved Fjord from the clutches of the Steel Garrote. I wish I could have seen the look on Ludwine's face at that. What's left of her face, I mean. You even saved Nakukubel, immeasurably advancing the study of the Akita. Second only to my library, of course. Who would have thought I'd be here, fighting with an Adiran? Oh, I suppose I can work with that. Truly, thank you. I'm forever changed for our time together. As weird as you are, Envoy, I'm glad we're here, now, ready to save the living lands. Well, let's go kill that dead woman. How can I help, darling? Don't let the bedbugs bite, dearie.
You should get some sleep. Big day coming up. Makes sense. It's a lot to think about. I've been in a lot of dangerous situations, but it's always been a fight to survive. It's just a fight. Putting my life on the line for someone else's cause. It's the opposite of survival. It's foolishness. I'll be ready, Envoy. I'll just be feeling weird about it. We're about to go out there and risk our lives for, what? A concept of how things ought to be? We might die, all to determine who sleeps in the nicest house in Paradis until the island decides it's time for a change. It's fine. Really. But it's a blessed day Sokka when you think about it. Right. Careful you don't get stuck in all that sap. I'll be all right, Envoy. You go get some blessed day rest.
I'll keep watch. Get all the rest you need.
How long's this lull going to last?
This is the best we could hope for. I'm relieved.
Done it better.
Big
That's done? Who's hungry? We've got company.
We shall tear your enemies apart. Let the worst come. I am ready.
Gather round.
What was that?
Don't worry about the eastern gate. I'll protect your back.
For our freedom!
The envoy? Of course you'd be the last face I see. I guess I shouldn't be surprised to see you here. I have. As an endearing soldier, it's only fitting I die here at the dawn of our war against the living lands. But never mind that. That isn't what's important right now. You've declared yourself for the enemy. You've turned your back on Adir, on the Emperor. Again. I don't understand. Why, envoy? What right do the others have to be here? Because they landed some number of years before us? Does that mean they deserve it? You won't stop us. Even if I'm food for worms. One way or another, these lands belong to Adir. I have nothing to say to you.
What are you doing here? I thought you left town weeks ago. Then it's a good thing we had a hero to spare. I saw a few on my way here. I imagine they've been waiting for this to happen for a long time. Listen, one of the Garot's units is scouting up ahead, maybe 5 strong. I wouldn't want to fight them if I were you. Take this key. It'll unlock the gate to the canals. You can thank the captain who forgot it. Suit yourself. I wish someone had stood up to the Steel Garot a long time ago. But, well, you're here now. That's what matters. Good luck.
Envoy! I doubted I'd ever see you again. I imagine I could guess what brings you back to Paradis. I must thank you once again for bringing me the Luminous Adra so long ago. With some creative exploration, I was able to refine the Adra into a poultice that heals wounds at a fantastic rate. Shorthand for drying literally every reagent, mixture, or process I can think of to produce any result at all. Forgive me, I may have contributed to one too many research journals in my time. One must always put one's best foot forward. I know you have much to do in town, so I'll let you go. Thank you again for everything.
We should go now.
They want
The
to
fighting's
die
died down.
badly.
Can you not hear the
Who am I
screaming
not to kill
outside?
them?
She's right. We can't go now. Envoy, am I ever glad to see you?
Gods, I never thought it would come to this.
Envoy?
Everybody all right?
What was that? Found you.
Let's finish this.
We've got company!
Envoy over here. What exactly do you think you're doing? You nearly died in my clinic. Correction, you did die. And now look at you, fighting the Steel Garot. What have you got to say for yourself? Well, at least you're alive. Try and keep it that way. We're patching up folks as best we can, but I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. War is a damn bloody mess. You'd know better than anyone. I can't say I approve of you leaping into the fray, but it's always nice catching up with a former patient. Wait a second. Jada? Jada Castell? What are you doing in the middle of this?
Surviving. It's good to see you, Liviana. Unfortunately, we're on a tight schedule. Do you need anything? Money, supplies?
Once this is over, I could always use another pair of hands at the clinic. The invitation's still open.
Thank you, but I've decided to tough it out as an animancer. On my own terms. Can you manage without me?
Are you kidding? I'm happy for you. Besides, I've got Chico on bandage duty. I just wanted you to know there's a place here whenever you want it. Gods be with you, Envoy. For my sake, try not to die a second time.
Come on. You know this. You practice with Uncle... Envoy, it's good to see you fighting on the right side of history. Out of curiosity, what turned you against the Steel Garrote? It's high time we explain that to a few people. You know the Steel Garrote a lot better than we do. Their coordination is damn impressive. Any advice? I'll send it down the line. Ready to make history whenever you are.
Good. Now, let's kick these bastards out, shall we?
Viana believes in me. I can't afford to let her down.
Envoy!
Envoy, behind you!
Found you.
Just go. I've got the plaza under control.
Faster, I say!
I was worried for a second.
You know how Adir feels about defectors. Watch yourself out there.
Monica demands your submission. Stand against her and fall.
Let's pay Ludwig one final visit, shall we? Let's make sure she stays dead this time. All right, dearie?
There you are. You're testing my patience on... So, you survived the garden. Did you come all this way just to try your luck again? To kill me more efficiently than last time? You'll get your chance. Look around, Envoy. Heelguard should have listened. He tried to bring order through compromise. He failed. Order is meant to be imposed by a stern, guiding hand.
Her order wields sharp steel. She must set down her blade.
Don't insult my intelligence or my commitment to the cause. Treaties can be burned. The hands which shook over whatever deal you struck can be lopped off at the wrist. As for you, Sapadal's chains are broken, which means your soul is in their grasp. I don't know how deeply you've been compromised, Envoy. And if I don't know, then I cannot suffer you to live. Do not patronize me. I have every right to put down a threat to the Empire. Steel yourself, Envoy. Make this a fight to remember, even in death.
We would not welcome her death. There is still ample shade for her beneath our tree.
My fate keeps me alive. Let's see if yours can do the same. Farewell, Envoy.
There's no coming back this time. Prepare yourself for the next world.
You won't be missed, Ludwig.
Once I'm done killing you, you'll start a planet.
We are every seed in the soil.
Wodika! Queen among queens! Send me your aid!
Wodika's done with you.
Again, Wodika! Help me! One last time! Quick and Ethic wasn't wrong! Go on!
Wherever Ludwig is now, she must be seething.
Of course, we'd be happy to kill her again, if needed.
She's done. But we're not. Whatever's next, we'll face it. Together.
Guys, you're all gonna make me sick. But carry on.
Unraveled at last. We no longer feel her wire against our flesh. We are free always. We are free forever.
Silence falls over Paradis, as though the city is holding its breath. Then you hear it, the ringing of a distant bell, the waving of banners, and cheers of victory. After a short and bloody conflict, the dust has finally begun to settle. You feel Sapadal close to your thoughts, stirring with interest. the god of the living lands, is observing this moment, unfettered by confusion or fear. For the first time in centuries, they understand. The Paradis militia rallies to you, the outsider who defended them in their hour of need. Whatever happens next, you have won their confidence. You take a moment to reflect on the calm. Not so long ago, you arrived at these shores on a simple errand, which turned out to be anything but simple. The dream scourge is over, and the island has been cleansed of plague. A time of healing and mourning follows. People look to you for answers about the source of the affliction. You tell them the truth, how the plague came from a power beyond mortal understanding, and how it is finally at peace. Thanks to you, the living lands has escaped Adiran oppression. The free settlements unite under a common banner and begin the fraught process of negotiating new traditions and values. The Empire withdraws. The frontier remains wild, but not for long. Fugitives no more. The rebels of Paradis return to their home and to other free settlements, bringing their skills and secrets wherever needed. For once, they have a future. The refugees of Emerald Stair resettle in Thirdborn, bringing their skills and research to aid the local community. What starts as an uneasy partnership blossoms into a bond of trust. Through shared adversity, they find common ground. In time, the people of Emerald Stair return to their city of Fior Messiverno. Research yields new developments in the struggle against nature. Technology is shared among the united settlements. The Empire cannot get in the way of progress. For the people of Shatterscarp, independence is bittersweet. Those who cannot withstand the grief inflicted by Ringgrim's spell leave the settlements, vanishing into the wilderness. Those who remain find themselves forced to cooperate with others, often begrudgingly. With so many dead, the need to stave off hunger outweighs any distaste for certain trading partners. With Solace Keep destroyed, the Pargrunen take their first steps into a world their ancestors once roamed at will. For some, this is the adventure of a lifetime. For others, the new freedom is terrifying, and they rush to build fledgling settlements. Kostya spends his days on the road, establishing trade routes. It is a hard life, bereft of the luxuries he once dreamed of. But there is promise. When Kai returns to Thirdborn, he's no longer running. He finds a town that's been diminished by struggle, conflict, and tragedy. He finds home. He helps repair Thirdborn's walls and train its defenders, carrying on Tama's legacy. And while his labors do not restore all that was lost, they build something new. With many of his anxieties and lifelong fears addressed, Marius now feels very differently than he did when he first met the envoy. Still far more comfortable in the wilds than among people, he nonetheless finds that his worries about the unknown were merely self-protection against the traumas of his childhood. Armed with this knowledge, he finds himself more capable of living in civilization, and far less fearful of his home in Galawain's tusks. With Solace gone, however, Marius never has a chance to reconcile with his people. Outside of a few travelers here and there, his connection with the Wardens is completely lost. Giada continues to improve as an animancer. She dedicates her work to the spiritual health of the living lands, nurturing instead of exploiting. Others follow her example, seeking her tutelage from lands far and wide. In the years to come, rumors spread of a secret society gathering in the wilderness, where animancers work in harmony with nature. The dream of Fior Messiverno lives on in her. No longer under the threat of imminent death, Yardsley returns to the Animancers. Reunited with her beloved Quilici, she helps him and the Animancers as they put their lives together after the attack on Fior Messiverno. Eventually, she even has something nice to say to Vidaro. As the days pass in contentment and relative peace, Yardsley is struck by the persistent feeling that something is missing. Though she still devotes herself to her studies of both the arcane and the godless, the restlessness never goes away. Freed from torment for the first time in centuries, Sopadal turns their prodigious curiosity to the people that shaped them. They observe the ways their people live, and they think deeply about what they see. Though they flinch away from moments of violence, and they grieve souls returned to them too soon, the rage that once shook cities to rubble no longer rules them. Instead, they come to you with questions. They want to understand. After a time, they begin tentatively to garden. Where they can, they improve the lives of Kith, and the suffering that troubled them is reduced, if never fully eradicated. Their grief compels them to love, and they love unreservedly, with the power of a god. Sopadal pours a fragment of their power into the statue they claimed from the Temple of Aethys. Newly embodied, they roam the living lands and learn to experience the world as Kith do. Their first attempts at locomotion are clumsy, and a stand of innocent trees is violently returned to the wheel. But as their confidence grows, so does their grace. Soon, they are bounding across the plains of eastern Dawnshore, leaping the river gorge in Emerald Stair, scaling the shark's teeth of Shatterscarp, and fearlessly wading into the Tusk's acid sea. When they break, they come to you to put them back together. And in time, they learn to fix themselves. They wander far afield. You see less of them, but they are never far from your thoughts. And on the rare occasion they return, they always bring you something beautiful and strange. The sounds of celebration pull you out of reverie. Many are waiting to greet you with open arms. You take a moment to catch your breath and savor it, because everything is about to change.